Okay, so this is the Rivarossi big boy. This is the rear truck. And this is the way it should look when it's intact. See this piece right here? It's riveted to the bottom half of this rivet. And I think what happened was yours broke free. So somehow you're still attached to here. This piece here is still on your train. I saw it in one of the videos. I think this piece here was broken off that holds the spring. See the little hook? Okay. That's the hook. So you've managed to break the first half of the rivet off. If we remove the wheels and everything, we could see the... Let me try to reposition this here. See the rivet? So what you've done is you've somehow broken this thing off. I would, if it was mine, you have this piece, I'd grind down the paint and I'd solder a piece of paper clip to it and bend it as a hook. Okay, I was gonna suggest that you use part of a truck from like a Berkshire, but that won't work because you need to go, this is a live axle, you need to go up and over. And then there's a spring there. I'm assuming you're missing the spring too, but you can get a small, tiny spring, or for the time being, you could get a small elastic that's used for like braces. You know, the little tiny elastics. You can get them on eBay. Not eBay, Amazon. For the time being, you could use that. But what you need to do is you have this piece here. This is where it bolts into the truck. I mean, to the rear chassis. See how it sits? Yours is sitting there and it's broken. Take it off. Take the paint off. Use a piece of emery cloth. Get it down to the silver. Tin it with solder. Solder a paper clip to it. Bend the paper clip up so you have a hook. Once you do that, you're going to have to take very carefully, I don't know how you're going to do it. I did it on one of my trains. You're going to have to use a real small drill bit and drill through that rivet. Drill right through it, right to the other side. And then you can get them long screws that you use for eyeglasses, possibly use that. Or if you can drill through it without destroying the rivet, you can put a very thin piece of, you know, that green wire that they use for Christmas decorations. It's real bendable. You can put that through it and then come around and make a loop, but to hold it. Or you can get real crazy. The only thing is, I don't know, you would have to run a wire from here to the chassis because you're gonna lose the electrical connection, I think. But I've done it before to repair these where the rivet is broken. I use a small screw, basically grind the head off, make it so it's square so I can grab it with a pair of needle nose, have the screw coming out, and use a very small piece of plastic, like and make a pinhole in it by heating up a paper clip and pushing it through, threading the screw through it, and then cutting the tip of it off, and then putting a little bit of glue on it so it can't back itself off. But then in this case, you would have to, if you have to do that in where the rivet is, this rivet has a spacer to keep this bar spaced. See, yours is still intact. The only piece that you're missing, well, you have it, but it's broken, is this. See where the, I'm sorry, but my camera work is horrible. Underneath this piece of plastic here, you have a, oh, damn it, hold on. See if I can get this. See the rivet head? Not the head, but the bottom half. It's underneath this piece of plastic. I can't even get it. But you'll see it when you're looking at it. It's directly underneath where it says rivarossi. And yours is broken off. Unfortunately, there's no way of really getting in there, like to put a ball of solder on it or anything, but that's where yours is disconnected from. So you have to somehow get that connected. The only thing I can think of is very carefully put this in a vise so it doesn't get broken, right? Bend this piece, because you can always straighten it out after. Bend it up so you can get in there with a very small drill bit and drill right through that rivet. Very, very small drill bit. I don't even know if you can, nowadays, you can find one that big. Or you really could get crazy. You could bend this up, get it out of the way, scrape down the tip of the rivet. Do not scrape the paint off of this. Put flux on it, heat it up, push this piece back on and drop a ball of solder on it and make sure that it's free. If you don't scrape this off and don't get any flux on it, the solder won't stick to it. It'll only stick to the brass rivet. See, so you can see it right there. So, but your piece here is broken. Yours is broken right here. So what you want to do is you want to, before you even attempt to attach it to the truck, you want to grind the paint off of it and solder a paper clip to it. Scrape the coating, the chrome coating off the paper clip, heat it up, tin it with solder, and with flux, and then tin it with solder, and then do the same thing with that piece, and then solder the paper clip to it, and then bend the paper clip in the, you don't use a real flimsy one, use a pretty thick one. Cut it to length and then bend it in a hook, and then you'll be able to hook that spring on there. This is what it should look like when you're done. What you have is this piece here is missing. And see, that's the way it should look from the side. See how that bar is attached to the bottom? Yours is broken free. I've had luck with other trucks and other pieces soldering to the top of the brass rivet and putting a ball of solder on there to hold it. This one's tough because there's a lot of plastic in the way. And the only way to do it, unfortunately, is to bend it. You'd have to bend it up to do it. And you'd have to be real quick about it, because if you heat it up enough, have a bottle of spray water or something where you can keep that cold. Spray it so this doesn't melt, or you're going to have more than one issue. I hope that helps. I wish if I had another one of these damn trucks, they're so hard to find. I'd just send you one. I actually bought a big boy that didn't have a rear truck and made one out of one of these, but it didn't have, there was no electrical connection. And then when I bought a lot off of eBay that had a bunch of broken crap in it, one of these was actually in it. And the rivet was completely gone. It was broken. And I used a piece of, what did I use? I used a piece of shrink wrap that fit in, no, I used plastic tubing that fit in the center of this piece here. And put it together, and I put a piece of wire going through this way and that way, 3 ways, so it couldn't spin, and left it loose enough for it to work. It's been like that for 2 years now, and I've never had a problem with it. Unfortunately, because of the way it is, it doesn't make that great of an electrical connection. But like on this train here, I've added, see how I added this connection? Because these, my track is horrible in some areas and it loses power. And this is DCC, and it's very important that it never loses power or the decoder reboots itself. So I've added extra connections to these trains. I have 6 of these, 5 of them are rivarossi. So now this was the piece that you were looking at that you thought that your tow bar broke off of or whatever. It didn't come from that. That hole right there, I drilled that hole. That originally had wiring coming out of it, and then I changed it and used this nice floppy thin stuff. See how floppy it is? So I would try to do that. You have all the pieces. This piece is on your train. It's just broken. And that's an easy fix. You scrape it down, solder a paper clip to it, bend it up. You're going to have to find a spring. See how small that spring is? It's tiny. Or you can use it, like I said, for the time being, you could get the little rubber elastics that people use for braces. I actually use them for traction tires on some of my Tyco trains, and I put a couple little spot pieces of crazy glue on them so they don't pop off, and you get major traction from them. So I don't know if you have my email address. I don't believe I have yours, so I will post it. If you have a comment, I'll post it. Once I post it to you, you can delete it, and then you can email me pictures or whatever you want to do. If you get my email address, I'll even give you my telephone number, and you can call me, and we could discuss this on the phone, and I might be able to help you out with this. Okay? Once you watch this video, let me know so I can delete it. All right, pal. Thanks.